All the philosophy about every student being different in terms of learning style because of their particular predominance among the four brain quadrants sounds great, but we still want to get high grades. Right. So, how does this occur? How do some people score high grades while others can't? Many students, when asked this question, say that if you work hard, you will get high marks in the exams. Teachers say that if you practice, you will score high marks. The educational system says that if you attend the classes, you will get high marks. If you do the assignments, you will get high marks. Of course, without attending the class, without practicing, without hard working, you can't score high marks. But I think that this is diversion created by those who actually know how to score high in exams. Those who know are actually misguiding others to the wrong direction of how to score high marks. Behind the curtain, those who really know and are actually getting high marks are laughing their heads off at the success of their misdirection. Then other students who are simple minded and who have believed in the hard work principle for getting high marks are frustrated because they cannot obtain their objectives despite working their level best. So, what is the problem? Or should I say, how actually do we get high marks in the exams? Here, I will teach you what nobody's going to tell you. Either they do not know or they are hiding it. First of all, you've got to look at this problem in the reverse direction. You've got to look at it from the end towards the start. But before that, you need to understand a certain analogy that I will draw. Let's say you are um, working in a restaurant. Let's say that scores are equivalent to the review the restaurant gets. How does a restaurant get a five-star review? Is it because the cook has worked very hard? Is it because they have practiced making that dish 1,000 times? Or is it because they came at the office or the kitchen on time? Yes, you must have noticed the absurdity of the causality I have just drawn. No, the restaurant will get five-star review only if the customer is satisfied, because in the end the review will be given by the customer. So the way the food tastes for that customer will matter the most. If that customer was expecting continental food, but you have prepared a chicken biryani or chicken masala of the highest quality, you would still get a bad customer review. Now, even if you had prepared what the customer had asked for, but the presentation was poor and messy, then the feedback will be bad. We don't like our dessert first and the snacks at the last. Similarly, as earlier, in such a situation, the customer feedback will be bad. Intuitively, we know that it doesn't matter how hard we worked, how expensive our restaurant is, and how high grade our raw materials were, and no matter how much our intention was pure, the final serving is what will determine the customer review. So we work not only hard, but very cleverly in order to make sure that the customer gets what he wants with the best possible display and most logical sequence that will give us a 5-star review. Now, drawing from this analogy, I'm sure that you understand how to score high marks in the exams. Yes, it depends on the satisfaction level of the examiner or the person who is checking your paper. You are writing for this person as the restaurant is cooking for the customer. Yes, the examiner is part of a system and the customer is an individual, but it doesn't change the fact that ultimately the judgment is dependent on that person who is checking the paper. So the idea is to write in the exams in a way to check the examiner. Like I gave the example of customer expecting continental food but being served Indian food and thus being dissatisfied. We can generalize that when it comes to a paper in a particular subject, let's say physics, all the examiners will have a certain expectation of how the answers will be written. So the idea is to give them what they want. Give that customer in the above example his continental dish and not a chicken tikka. Now, what does an examiner want? You must understand that they would have hundreds of papers to check in any particular board exam. Mind you, we are talking about subjective questions and not multiple answer questions that are now being checked by the computers. I'm sure I was being obvious, but still, I just mentioned this point. So, yes, this teacher would want the paper to be easily readable with handwriting that is at least comprehensible, if not pleasing to the eyes, like a well presented dish. And then, because he can't go through every word, he would like the answers to be written in a proper structure with paragraphs. Then obviously he would like the most important points to be mentioned at the beginning of the answer and of each paragraph so that he doesn't have to read all the section or the whole paragraph. Still better since he can't read the question answer like he would a novel. He will scan through the paper and look for keywords, main formulas, measure steps in case of numericals, and the answer. So if you were so kind to underline or highlight or capitalize those key points, then he would be highly satisfied. In this way, he would not have to look for those very key words. You have to remember that every teacher belongs to an university or a certain board of examination. They would have some basic requirements in terms of what keywords or processes must be completed in order to attain full marks. So if you are smart, you will know what those keywords and processes are, and you will highlight them while you answer in the exams. The worst thing you can do to get high marks is to vomit your answers on the question and answer sheet. When you do that, even if you had mentioned all the key points and completed all the processes, they would be lost in the jungle of your vomit. The teacher would not be able to spot them. And even though the answer seems right and it's quite lengthy, although messy, he would not be able to give the full marks or even the highest possible mark because he is answerable to a guild of teachers. And the framework for mark allocation. So just know what the examiner is seeking and give it to them the way they love it, as I already mentioned to you. In this way, you will get high marks. Of course, it helps if you have studied a lot, practiced a lot, and attended all the classes. But if you haven't understood what I just taught you about the need to satisfy the examiner, then the later parameters won't help you. Besides the main process of scoring high marks, which is to write your answers in order to satisfy the examiner, there are many other considerations you need to take. I will not be elaborating on them because it would be another book, albeit short, entitled Techniques to Score High in the Exams. Some chapters would sound like how not to be nervous when you are in the examination room, the art of visualization, how to read the question paper before answering, how to make best use of the old is gold sets of old papers, and so on. However, the main point is what I've explained with the above analogy of the restaurant. In the end, giving the exam is a game. Now that you know how to win in that game, all you need to do is to develop the strategies to satisfy the examiner. And this is how you can score high marks on the exam repetitively.